Hey everybody, this is HQ, coach of the Sandiles, bringing you my Week 6 battle against Zav and the Cardiff Crobats. Now let's just get right into it. So looking at his team, I know that Darmanitan does a lot of work, and he doesn't have a lot of answers for it, and so I just lead Darmanitan thinking I'm just gonna click some moves, get at least one KO, put him at least on the back foot to start with, because Darmanitan does a lot of damage. Now this is probably, I think, my first mistake. Darmanitan was valuable enough that I shouldn't have started out with it. I should have saved it for the end. But I was a little bit cocky. I didn't do too much prep just because I was super busy in life and school and work. But I do lead Darmanitan. I do Flare Blitz because I know it's a 2-hit KO, and I know that Mega Venusaur can't KO me back. And I figure that getting rid of this thing with the Darmanitan is worth it, even if I'm going to end up at low health or even knocked out. Just being able to have this Venusaur out. But of course, turn 1 he gets a critical hit, and I've lost the battle. Not necessarily, but realistically, that was really the turn that decided it. Without Darmanitan, I'm in a really bad position because now I have to get rid of this Mega Venusaur. It's bulky enough that I can't really hit it with too much back. I go into my Nidoqueen. I think looking back, this was also a mistake. I should have gone into something else, like probably Gengar or even Klefki, but I was pretty tilted at this point, and I just wanted to... I was like, I pretty much already knew I lost, so I just wanted to get it over with. He does go for another Giga Drain. It does a lot more damage because he gets another critical hit, which is also unfortunate because my Nidoqueen would have actually been at a pretty good amount of health, about half, if not for that crit. So I go for another Earth Power. I do thankfully get rid of the Mega Venusaur, but I am not in a good position. My two of my hardest hitters, my Darmanitan and Nidoqueen, are either out or low, and this allows him to just go into his Gastrodon. I did have Hidden Power Grass, which I knew wouldn't really KO, but it would do a lot of damage. I did spend a while breeding for this. But, it does, like I said, it doesn't KO, and he just takes me out with the Earth Power. But luckily, Gastrodon is low enough that pretty much anything I do will be able to knock it out. Of course, honestly, at this point, I'm not really playing to win as much as I am just trying to play to not get destroyed, because he has his Muck, and as I go into my Gengar, something that can KO this Gastrodon, I know that he can very easily go into his Muck. If she doesn't go into his Muck here, he just stays in with his Gastrodon. Sorry for all the frame drops, I don't know what my computer's doing, but he stays in with the Gastrodon. It goes down to Shadow Ball, but Muck is easy. I was actually kind of afraid of Pursuit Muck when I was prepping for this battle. It turns out that he didn't have Pursuit or just didn't click it, but I just switch out. I go into my Klefki because I want to do two things. I want to get spikes up because I can hopefully chip stuff down, and I want to click Play Rough. I think because I did have Play Rough on this Klefki as something that can hit the Muck, because as a Dark type, otherwise Muck kind of just stops Klefki in his tracks. I can't paralyze it or anything. He does reveal the Flamethrower, which is a really good bring on his part. He is able to chunk Klefki quite hard. At this point, I know this Muck is the biggest problem. If I can get Muck low enough that it dies to like anything else, then I can still do pretty well. And Play Rough does a good amount of damage, about 25%, which is what I expected. But thanks to Flamethrower, I'm only going to be able to get one more hit off. And here I do switch out actually, which I think, looking back, may have been a mistake, because I think it was more important to have Muck low. But because I was expecting the Flamethrower, I knew that I'd be able to go into my thick, fat EVO like Piloswine and take little to no damage. And I did speed creep the Muck just a little bit with Piloswine, so I knew I'd be able to get off an Earthquake and do a lot of damage. Earthquake hits Clumpplay pretty hard. Again, I know this battle I was not playing well. I knew Muck was a big problem, and looking back, I should have played smarter around the Muck, but I was pretty much resigned that I was not going to win from losing Darmanitan. I was pretty tilted. I was not in my best mind space, and so I let Piloswine take a little bit of chunk as I click Earthquake again on this Comfey, knocking it out. Comfey is an interesting mon. It can be dangerous if you let it get set up, thanks to its triage ability, but in general, it's hard to get it set up just because it's so frail. I do get the Revenge crit, although I'm pretty sure that didn't matter. But yeah, Comfey is so frail, it doesn't do a lot. Here, I expected the fighting move. I expected the fighting move 100%, which is why I switched out to try and preserve Piloswine and just sack off Klefki. He actually goes for Fire Punch, which I don't think would have killed because of the Thick Fat, which makes me really wish I'd stayed in, and so I didn't actually calc it, but I'm pretty sure I would have lived. I'll put the calc up on screen, but if I'd stayed in, I might have been able to get rid of it, but I didn't, so I just go into my Gengar. Again, he can just go into Muck. He can go into Muck every time. Maybe I should have been a little bit more aggressive with the switching. I think having been Having been losing this battle at this point, I think playing more aggressively with my switches was the correct option, but I just didn't. Like I said, I was really psyched out. I was just not in the correct headspace, and so he's able to go for a knock off my Eviolite, and put me easily within a range of a Shadow Sneak, I believe, which is what he does next. Or no, rather, he switches out on my Earthquake as he goes into Mimikyu. Mimikyu, another very threatening Pokemon. I am able to break the disguise with Earthquake, which is good, but Mimikyu can just get up a Shadow Sneak on my Piloswine, which will take it out, especially with the Eviolite being on Mimikyu. Mimikyu is a tough Pokemon to prep for, just because if you're not prepared, it can kind of just run through teams. Like I said, here she goes for Play Rough on this term specifically. I mean, Mimikyu obviously outspeeds a Piloswine just because of its space, and so Piloswine goes down. It does reveal a Life Orb, which is interesting. Usually Mimikyu, I would expected. I don't know. I didn't really expect anything in particular, but he does go for Shadow Sneak here. I'm actually a little bit surprised that it doesn't kill, just because, you know, with the Life Orb, Mimikyu's pretty strong. Gengar is not exactly the most defensive Pokemon. But I am able to go for a Shadow Ball and to knock out this Mimikyu. Although now he can easily go into his Muck. Muck almost always carries Shadow Sneak, especially against my team, where I have both a Gengar and an Espeon. And yep, he comes in with Muck, he just goes for Shadow Sneak, which is going to knock out my Gengar, and my last Pokemon is my, in this case, Choice Specs Espeon. I think maybe bringing Choice Specs might have been a mistake with the Muck, although I was hoping that I'd be able to knock it out before bringing an Espeon. I did misspell the nickname when I was at the Name Raider. I was kind of in a hurry for my battle with Zev, which is kind of indicative of my whole play this game, really. So sorry, Mulson. And that's the game, you know, a 2-0 loss, not the worst thing in the world. I think I can learn from this experience and hopefully get another W. It is an end to our winning streak, but, you know, there's always next time. Thanks for watching.